Hey, what's happening, everybody? Today I got a quick video for you. I had a question that came in on what is the best list to market to as a wholesaler. Great question. There are a lot of options out there when it comes to spending our precious marketing dollars, and it can be very confusing when you're first getting started on how to deploy that money and how we're going to set up that marketing plan and which lists do we choose, where we're going to have the greatest odds and chances of success and response. So when you're picking a list, there's a couple things to keep in mind. The first, when we're talking about the types of lists, there's something that I refer to as the urgency list and the non-urgency list. An urgency list, an example of that would be when there's something pending for the seller. Okay, this could be something like they have a divorce or a bankruptcy or tax lien foreclosure. A non-urgency list would be something where there isn't really something pending or an event that's happening. That would be something like an absentee owner list. Now, there may not be necessarily something pending where they'll be highly motivated, but there could be some type of a situational distress that's going on with that potential prospect, which could make them very well be a great lead for us. So when it comes to choosing a list, there are you have your absentee owners, which are people who have more than one property. They don't live there as their primary residence. Typically with absentee owner lists, you want to scrub that down, meaning when you purchase that list, you want to add some filters to it. I like to have people over the age of 65, minimum of 10 years of ownership, meaning they've owned that property for at least 10 years, and there's a good equity spread there. I look for a minimum of a 70% loan to value. So there's at least a 30% equity spread. Okay, because as wholesalers, we want the opportunity to acquire those properties at a deep enough discount and not have to be bothered with short sale type transactions. So we want to make sure that there's enough equity in the potential deal so we can do a nice, quick, easy transaction and not have to worry about going through a short sale. So absentee owners are definitely one of my favorites. I like tax liens. I love probate. Probate, that type of a list, you don't typically get a high response rate, but there can be some serious gold nuggets in there. There's some of our highest profitable deals have come from probates. So that is a list that it requires more. Either you're going to have to go out and compile it yourself, go down to the county clerk's office or the town hall, the vault, and compile that list. If you can, I recommend hiring like a college intern, someone who can do that for you once or twice a month. If not, if you're going to purchase that list, there's a couple data providers out there. Be careful who you get that information from. It could be dated. Sometimes there are some data providers, because it is a harder list to come by, you could get access to some old leads, and it's more of an expensive list to acquire. So a couple of the data providers that you want to look into would be US Lead List and US Probate Leads. US Lead List does an inherited properties list, is a great one to get, but it's a little bit harder because they only limit access to a certain amount of investors per county so they don't oversaturate, which is a really cool thing, but you're going to pay a little bit more for that list. So if you can, my recommendation is to pick a non-urgent list and an urgency list. So you may want to have something going like an absentee owner and a tax lien. You want to have at least maybe 2,000 to 3,000 potential prospects that you can set up a decent sized mail campaign and set up a marketing budget. So no matter what your budget is, if it's small, you're only starting with a couple $100, if it's $100, whatever, divide it up into weekly amounts. So if it's a $200 monthly marketing budget, set it up where you got $50 being spent a week on direct mail. So you got some letters going out there, some postcards, however way you choose. And it's more important to have that being done consistently than doing just one drop every so often. So if you've got a list with, call 1,000 people on that, maybe you divide that up into 6 or 8 mailings, right? And then you keep hitting that list up. I recommend hitting each prospect 6 to 8 times over the course of a year. So you may want to do a mailing every 30 days or something like that. So every prospect on that list is getting routine follow-ups from you. And you want to mix up the message too in the mailing piece, because you never know which one's going to resonate with them. So you want to stand out on your mailing pieces. The best thing for us that we get the best responses from are still tried and true handwritten yellow letters in a card like invitation style envelope, not the business style. Those get the best response, handwritten. You can mess around with certain things like adding like bulk mail to it, add something chunky inside that it piques interest. You can add something like a nickel or something in there. It just, people get something and they're like, oh wow, what the heck is in here? Or literally not even, we get higher open rates without folding, actually sealing the envelopes. You can mess around doing things like that. Putting the stamp on crooked. Weird little things like that increase open rates. It's odd, it's weird, it grabs people's attention. If you actually crinkle up the letter, like if you fold it like this, I actually happen to have some yellow paper here and a red pen. So if you crinkle it up a little bit and put that in the envelope, it'll add some girth to it, and that makes it a little bit more chunky and also increases open rates. So when it comes to, I got on a little bit of a tangent there, but to answer the question, what are the best lists? Absentee owners are great. Make sure you do over the age of 65, 10 years of ownership, and you want to have at least a loan to value of about 70%. Followed by probates and inherited properties, tax liens, bankruptcies, divorce, code violations is another good one. And if you can, fire damaged houses is another one. That's something you're probably going to have to either go out driving and compiling a database for. But that's about it. There's not really any secret niches out there, guys. It's more about just getting the list, setting up a plan, sticking to it, being consistent with it, getting that phone to ring, and following up, making offers, following up, making offers, negotiating, following up, and building that pipeline. Thanks again for checking out this video today here, guys. If you're interested in how to create a consistent monthly income utilizing real estate investing, even if you're starting from scratch, be sure to check out the link below, 3secretswebclass.joebarletta.com. Thanks again for stopping by. Again, it's 3secretswebclass.joebarletta.com. I hope you're having a great day, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.